Good afternoon, students. As yesterday we have seen about congenital heart disease and fetal circulation. So, first of all, we'll go for the first type of abnormal heart disease, which is known as ASD, atrial septal defect. The word itself represents that there is a defect inside the atrium and there is abnormal communication between the two atrium, and the blood is flowing directly from the right side of the heart to the left side of the heart and ultimately producing problems. So whenever during the fetal circulation this abnormal opening is considered to be as normal, and as the baby is coming out of the uterus and we are disconnecting the umbilical cord or supply from the mother, then this septal defect should go for closure and there should be a normal blood circulation will start from the lungs, and you will be divided again in the right and the left side of the heart. Right will be responsible for the deoxygenated blood and left is responsible for oxygenated blood, but due to some reason or any of the cause this closure may not happen and there may be a chance that blood is getting mixed from the right side of the heart to the left side of the heart and consequences will happen. So ASD is basically abnormal opening in the atrial septum which allow the oxygenated blood from the left atrium to get mixed with the deoxygenated blood in the right atrium with a minor pressure differences. Clear? So we know that the blood is pushing from the left side of the atrium to the right side of the atrium, and oxygenated blood is getting mixed with the deoxygenated blood, and right atrium itself is receiving the blood from superior vena cava and inferior vena cava, which is deoxygenated blood, and from there it will go to the left atrium, left going to the right ventricle through this valve and is going again in the pulmonary circulation. So ultimately it's keep on increasing the volume overload on the right side of the heart and ultimately increasing the congestions and the pulmonary circulations. Now ASD is accountable for 4 to 7 per 10 percentage of all kind of congenital heart diseases, which is most common in female child compared to the male child. So if we now see the types of ASD, so basically it is depends on the different location. It can be classified in three types. Number one is considered as ostium secundum, number two is considered as ostium primum, and number three is considered as sinus venosus. So these three types is are different locations of depends on is conditions. So each one will deal in detail. First we will go for ostium secundum, which is the most common type of ASD and which is almost accountable for 50 to 70 percentage of your ASD in the middle of the septum and the region of the foramen oval where there is abnormal defect is getting present. The second type will include about ostium primum, that is 30 percentage of cases among the all kind of ASD will be accountable for this ostium primum. The position will be with the lower position and the form of lower part in the atrial septum and is known as ostium primum. Third will be sinus venosus, which is a very least common, hardly 10% of the cases of ASD with accountable for sinus venosus. This will be at the entry of the superior vena cava into the right atrium. So that the defect will be whenever the superior vena cava is inserting inside the this right atrium, where exactly is getting abnormal defect, which is known as sinus venosus. These all three types of disease which can be included in ASD. Now we will see the clinical manifestations. So most of the infants and children are asymptomatic, but over the years or to decade may experience the symptoms depending upon the different type and size and severity of ASD. So symptoms will include about infant get tired easily during feeding. Childs get tired during eating or playing outdoor games. Shortness of breath, fatigue, sweating, palpitation, and stunted growth. These are the clinical manifestations which which will be seen inside the ASD kind of CHD of either child population or adult population. On examination part during the auscultation, S1 will be considered as normal while S2 will have a wild split and fixed with P2 acidulated and ejection systolic murmur is present. In case of a chest X-ray, we will able to find out the mild to moderate amount of cardiomegaly with enlarged right atrium and right ventricle. Prominent pulmonary artery segment and increased pulmonary vascular margins because there is always increase in the blood circulation, pulmonary circulation increasing because the blood is getting leakage from the left atrium to the right atrium and from where it is again come back to the right ventricle and ultimately increasing the load over the pulmonary margins. In ECG, right axis deviation will be seen and right ventricular strand pattern in the lead V1. On echocardiogram, the position and the size and sign from left to right shunts will be seen. Whenever there is a abnormal pressure or this changes in the flow from right to left or which is known as Eisenmenger syndrome. So this is how the diagnosis of ASD is made. Management: 20% of atrial septal defect will close spontaneously during the first year of life as the child grows. But for detect of 3 to 8 mm or smaller, the supportive medical management like digoxin and diuretics along with the prophylactic antibiotic are sufficient to fill the spontaneous closure of ASD. But if defect is larger, then we have a different plan for the same. And whenever the defect is more than 8 mm, then surgical repair may be required. If spontaneous closure does not occur by the school age, then surgical repair become essential to prevent the lung complication and that will develop from the long time exposure to the extra blood flow due to abnormal defect. Surgical repair may be closed with the stitches or a special patch. The material utilized for the patch of the closure of ASD may be patient's own pericardium or commercially available bovine pericardium or synthetic material or Gore-Tex or Darcone is a choice of closure of this patch. And after the surgery, patient will go for a certain amount of post-surgical cardiac rehabilitation protocol from day one that will start in depends on the different age. If the patient or child has arrived at age more than 2 years, it is easy to treat compared to the neonatal age, but same way we have to maintain the positioning for normal ventilation, and in case of abnormal congestion in the pulmonary systems, then that has to be with postural drainage position that has to be removed in a central line, and from where with the help of cuffing procedures or suctioning that can be converted and the removal of this uh, abnormal collection inside the lungs. And if it is more than 2 years of the patient is able to do any kind of physical activities, then we can start with different postures, breathing exercise with different postures, and slowly we can progress to the active range of motion exercises, flexibility protocols, and later on, after 3 months of post surgical, we can go for all kind of treadmill as well as